Hello, my name is Tori Smith, and this is the DARPA CIA Child Trafficking Operation Report for the 12th of March, which was Saturday night. Saturday, 176 children were brought in from 2 sources and then distributed to 14 MILABS. 176 children were brought to America by 2 agencies. AFRICOM took 98 children from southern Africa, from 2 orphanages and a refugee camp. 16 AFRICOM men raped 27 of these children on the way here. Oh, I forgot to write down. I'm sorry. I did all this as a massive report, so I better get through it. I'll have to add that later. It wasn't Andrews Air Force Base. It was another one that was close by. And then 78 children were delivered by NATO from Europe. Refugee children from the United States war crime against Syria, Yemen, and Turkey. Well, actually, I don't know if the United States is considered a war crime against Turkey at the moment, but definitely Syria, Yemen, and Ukraine. 18 NATO males raped 26 of the children on the way to Andrews Air Force Base, where 61 Air Force males raped 61 of the children. And then the children were sent out to 14 locations, to Wilmington, Delaware, and 8 children were gang raped by a group of 68 males of DARPA, CIA, FBI, military contractors who are, CEOs and corporate executives. And it was 8 CEOs of these military contracting companies that murdered the children during rape. In Philadelphia, the Philadelphia MILABS, 6 children were gang raped by a group of 76 males. A group of corporate executives, politicians, CIA, FBI, TSA, Department of Homeland Security, and local police from 6 cities and towns. And the 6 children were also killed by 6 CEOs. And Montauk, New York has suddenly been very active lately, which it's been really, well, it's been active for years, but I mean active in regards to the child trafficking program. And, so I pulled up the DNA of several DARPA employees who work there. I think there's about just under 90 or so that work there. And their DNA says they're working on a new type of weapon, which I don't think will go anywhere because most of the weapons are confiscated. But this one, it was brought in, from another galaxy by all these ones that our military, well, they're not really our military, but military of the United States, and it literally disintegrates people. It almost vaporizes people. There's from what I saw what it can do to an animal. It's just like remember on the TV show Star Trek when they phasered somebody and it was just and then they were gone. That's kind of like the weapon they're working on now, and it doesn't work on reptilians. Go figure. So it can't kill an alligator or a crocodile, but it can kill a bear. And Montauk, there were 11 children gang raped by a group of 80 DARPA staff and 3 CIA, and they were all killed and eaten by the reptilians. Now, I've been working on these names, and they're very difficult for me. The Cotano reptilians, that's a type of species, because here in our Milky Way, there's 1,271 species of reptilians, 56 species of humans. Humans comprise about 40% of the population of the Milky Way galaxy. New York City, Midtown. The Midtown MILAB, 7 children were gang raped by a group of 33 males, all executives. There were 2 DARPA and 2 CIA. And these children were taken to Montauk, where then they were killed by, the reptilians. Washington, D.C., MILAB number 117 children were gang raped by a group of 138 males, including 3 U.S. senators, 2 presidential candidates, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, who have a very, very long history. I think Rubio's murdered 37 children. Ted Cruz has raped over 300 and murdered quite a few. Others, I don't really have time to go in because it's going to be a long one. Pentagon employees, the Army, the Air Force, DARPA, CIA, FBI, and 3 Secret Service men. And all 17 children were murdered by Pentagon, what they call top brass. Washington, D.C., MILAB number 2, 13 children were gang raped by a group of 102 males. Pentagon employees, Army Special Ops, Navy SEALs, DARPA, CIA, FBI, Secret Service, and the children were then shipped to Roswell and killed by a different type, a different species of reptilians, the Daikoga. The Daikoga. These names are really difficult for me. They sound like Klingon, and I don't speak Klingon. Daikoga reptilians, who killed and ate them. Most of the reptilians they love to eat human children. They don't like to eat human adults because, we've been horribly toxified with vaccines, the poisons in the air, the water, and the food. There's poisons in everything now, so they don't like to... and then all the weapons and everything they use put us in the vaccines, so they don't like to eat us. But they love to kill us and rape us. In Atlanta, 5 children were gang raped by a group of 27 males of CNN, NBC, and Fox, and DARPA and the CIA. And 5 children were killed by 3 DARPA and 2 CIA, while the corporate people of CNN, NBC, and Fox watched. Detroit, 7 children were gang raped by a group of 33 males, corporate executives from Ford and GM and other companies in Michigan, DARPA and the CIA, and all 7 of these children were killed by CEOs from Michigan companies. Dallas, 12 children were gang raped by a group of 67 males of the Texas State Police, Dallas Police, Houston Police, 10 Bush clones, CIA, FBI, Secret Service, and Department of Homeland Security. And all 12 children were killed by the 10 Bush clones because Herbert Walker Bush clone number 56 killed 3. Because 10 Bush clones killed 10 children, and then Bush clone number 56 killed 2 more. I'm going to clarify that. Who, by the way, Herbert Walker Bush's trial is over. So is his wife, Barbara Bush. And Bush no longer exists, but Barbara asked for mercy, and I guess she's going to be again allowed to serve negative karma. How do you serve negative? The Bush family's murdered 75 million people on this planet. How is she possibly going to serve negative karma for that? They'll probably just have to wipe her memory or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do to her. I think she should have, well, never mind. In Crawfordsville, Texas, 6 children were gang raped by a group of 32 males, 6 other Bush clones, CIA, Secret Service, 3 corporate executives, CEOs, and 4 Russian CIA agents. And these children were killed by 6 Bush clones. And when for those of you who are not really keeping up on Russia, they used to have an agency called the KGB. Well, the KGB was incorporated into the CIA, and now there's no more KGB. They're all Russia, CIA. There's CIA in Russia, in China, in Japan. CIA's in every country on the planet. Now they're all on the same side, and it's not our side. Okay, Denver, 14 children were gang raped by a group of 73 males. Including the governor of Texas, Colorado State Police, corporate executives and CEOs, including Charles Ergen, who has a very, very long history of raping and murdering boys. And he loves to rape little boys with Indiana Governor Mike Pence. And also CIA, FBI, and Secret Service were there. Oh, I didn't write down who killed the children. Let's see, I'd like to pull up the DNA of 14 children that were killed in Denver. They were shipped to Roswell. And killed there by the reptilians. I have those two. It's that one, isn't it? The Zahatka reptilians. I think I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11 species of reptilians, and I can barely pronounce any of their names. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go on. Albuquerque, New Mexico. 5 children were gang raped by a group of 58 males. All military except for 1, and that was the governor of New Mexico. Oh, I can't even stand to look at this person's face. She's 32% reptilian. Her name is Susana Martinez. And Susana Martinez has murdered children with the famous 17-inch Illuminati dagger through the heart, just like Hillary Clinton. You remember when Hillary Clinton murdered that 5-year-old girl right after her husband raped her? Raped the girl, I mean. Well, she murders the same way. Governor of New Mexico. She's witnessed over 200 children be gang raped. And she finds it very, very erotic. Well, they all do. I mean, and then they get really sexually excited when they watch other people murder the children. I don't have enough mentality to understand how watching somebody murder a child is sexually arousing. In fact, I find it horrible. I've seen it happen, and it just like freaks me out. My God, I don't even know how much therapy I'm going to after this is over. Anyway, Roswell, New Mexico, 31 children were gang raped by a group of 262 males, all military, all branches. And all 31 reptilians were killed by the same group, the Zahatka reptilians. And Dulce, the new MILAB in Dulce. And see, what they're doing is they're moving Washington, D.C. out west. Denver's basically the new capital of the country. And Roswell, DARPA's moved their headquarters out to DARPA's moved their headquarters out to Roswell, New Mexico, because Roswell has their own Hadron Collider. You know that big thing at CERN, that underground machine? It does like over 800 or 900 different functions or whatever, including opening wormholes to other galaxies so they can bring in more war criminals. But there's a second one. A lot of people don't know that there's a second Hadron Collider, and it might be called something else. I don't know. Names are really hard for me to get. And unless I know the person. See, that's one thing about Mike Pence, the Indiana governor. I've been raped by him repeatedly. He raped me with the CIA agents. He raped me with the Indiana State Police. I've been raped by 14 Indiana State policemen. And when you do that, let me tell you, if you're raping and murdering children, you shouldn't go rape a psychic, because you're going to create an information cord, and every time he murders a child, I know when it's happening, which is all the time. You gotta love Indiana. I'm sorry, back to Dulce. 34 children were gang raped by a group of 214 males, all military again, except for presidential candidate Andrew D. Basiago. But he's really military. Has a very, very long history with the military. This was the 103rd child raped by Basiago, who's pretending to be like some big military hero with all his secrets that nobody else has revealed. You know how it's funny how they do that? Like I saw that piece of filth, Marco Rubio saying, "Oh, we got to take our country back from Obama." It's like 6 weeks ago you were raping and murdering children with Mr. Barack Obama. Now all of a sudden your best friend, he likes to rape innocent children, next to you is the bad guy. I hate politicians. I hate everybody at this point, except for the people that pray for God to bring this nightmare to an end. Oh, there is good news. Where was I? Okay, Basiago. These men just pissed me off so much. I'm sorry. Oh, because he was from the former military Mars project. That's what I put in there, because he wants to talk about how he's some big superhero, and nobody else is revealing this information but him. Well, guess what? He's murdered 10 children while raping them, and he just raped his 103rd child. And all 34 of these reptilians were killed by the reptilians. I'm sorry. I'm just really pissed off today. It's been a very long day. And I'm way over my time on my tablet, but I found out I might be able to get a laptop, so that would be nice. And also, there was something called the Neurolizing net. It was a big weapon. It was taken down yesterday on Sunday. And when 78 children were brought in, I think to 4 locations. But there was a weapon that was being broadcast. It was just like the Neurolizing pen from the movie Men in Black, except it was from a military base in the Washington, D.C. area. And they were beaming up to satellites. And the net was, and all the satellites dispersed this energy, and it formed a net around the entire planet. And it was a neurolizer. And it kept people in the dark, basically. It kept people from communicating with heaven, because every human on this planet should be easily able to listen to and speak to God, to angels, to everybody in heaven. You should be able to go to the Hall of Reconnection and sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with anybody that's in heaven. And go to the Hall of Records, the Hall of Charts, the Hall of Justice, which, by the way, everything I say here today, you can go verify if you want to go to those locations and see this information for yourself. I read information out of DNA, and it's part of what I consider is like a supercomputer. Or a super internet, or whatever you want to do. And how I do that is I ask for the DNA of specific people or one person to be pulled up. The DNA appears before me, and I start reading. It's not like I'm some super genius. It's just that I can read information, and then I share it with others, because I feel very, very strongly about all these children being raped and murdered every day. Thank you. God bless your hearts. I hope you have a better week than I do.